Hello and welcome to another fun-filled knife adventure. Hooray! So today we're going to be taking a look at the Kansept Thoth. It is a Sparrow knife company and Kansept collabo, or at least maybe Sparrow designed it. But let's get into it. So we have the normal packet, we have the pouch, and the desiccant. Let's put the knife out, put all this stuff. I don't know what that was. What the heck happened? Something fell. Oh well. No telling. Set this to the side here, and let's take a look at this knife. So as you can see, I got the carbon fiber and Damascus version. I believe it's Arctic Storm carbon fiber. Love the looks of this knife. I love the swoosh around the pivot. The inlay, I did a nice job on the inlay. Clip looks nice. I don't think that color matches, I guess it matches that blue pretty good. That's cool. Nice little ramp on it. Looks like it should go in and out easily. Big large back spacer. Solid all the way. Like 2/3 of the knife. This is a frame lock, but it's behind the carbon fiber there. It does not have a lanyard hole or even a lanyard pin. Let's get it open and look at the blade. Oh yeah, love the lines of this blade. This is a hollow grind, super thin at the edge there. We will get some measurements on it here shortly. So yeah, it is a frame lock, but it's behind this inlay. Hardware looks like T8 pivot and maybe T6 on the body screws. I love the ramp. Oops, sorry. I love the ramp right there, but I don't like the fact it doesn't have jimping. Wish it had a little bit of jimping. I guess that was a design idea, because that's how it turned out. This finger choil, you can get a finger in there pretty safely to choke up on it without getting onto the edge of the blade. Yeah, I love the looks of it. See what the closing action's like. Alright. Not the smoothest closing of any Kansept I've gotten. I did just feel my finger get pinched between that lock bar and that piece of carbon fiber. Guess you have to pay attention to push sideways instead of down and sideways. Yep, it grabbed a little bit of skin again there. Doesn't really hurt, doesn't pinch, but you can feel it just a little bit. So I guess you just make a conscious effort to push sideways instead of down and sideways. I'm sure the action will get better, but I am having to shake it quite a bit. Doesn't just want to fall shut. Reverse flick is super easy. I love the fact it doesn't have a flipper tab. I think flipper tabs ruin the aesthetics of some knives. You can slow roll it, and you can thumb flick it, but your finger kind of wants to get stuck in the... There you go. Guess you just kind of have to get used to it, like with any knife. Alright, let's get some measurements, starting with the weight. So it weighs 4.60 ounces. And let's get some measurements. Overall, it looks like it is Can't see my lines here. Just a second. Almost exactly 8 inches. Blade length on it is, looks like it's going to be 3.5 to the front of the scales there, with about a 3.4 inch cutting edge. Alright, let's get some caliper measurements here. So let's start with the blade thickness. Let me see where it's the thickest. So it is tapered with a swedge up here at the top. So I'm going to measure it kind of right down here where it's the thickest. And that is 0.1375. This flat up here should be close. Yeah, 0.1375. So there's a little flat area right here also. 0.1375, and then down behind the edge, looks like it gets down to 0.0155, 0.016. Okay, so that is very slicey. Yeah, it's got a very pronounced hollow grind. I love hollow grinds. Since we're speaking of hollow grinds, let's see if it's sharp. It is sharp. The very back of the blade, back here, doesn't seem very sharp. Let's see. Let me go up a little past that. Yeah. Not the absolute sharpest feeling knife out the box, but I'm sure a good stropping would fix all of that. In fact, I've got my strop sitting right here. Let's give it about five strops really quick on each side. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Wipe that blade off and then check it for sharpness again. See if we improved anything. Oh yeah, it even makes a different noise. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, but that very back edge, yeah, it's definitely not sharp back here. But right past that, let's see. Yeah, just a little bit in, it starts grabbing. So that's good. All right, let's do a few size comparisons. Starting with the standard PM2 and the Para 3. You can see it falls right between those two. It's closer to the PM2 than the Para 3. Let's see what else we got here. I've got a Spyderco Shaman. It is very, very similar in overall total size to the Shaman. Here is a Spyderco Smock. Very close in size and overall length with that as well. Here is, let's see what else I got here. Well, don't really want to show those on video. I thought I had something else here I could compare it to. Well, here's one. I've got the standard Ozark Trail Wug-Out copy. I did bead blast this blade and dye the handles, but this is normally the orange and black one. So you can see it is larger than that. One thing about these Kansept knives is I've just never been sure about the Damascus steel that they use. I'm not sure what the two steels are. It always makes me a little leery. I usually try to get the non-Damascus versions, but I like the way this one looked the best. I would prefer this handle in carbon fiber with just a plain blade, but I would have to buy a different model and do a blade swap between the two to make that happen. Who knows, in the future that may happen. But yeah, super beautiful knife. Let's go check out their website and see what they say about it. So right here, I believe I've got it brought up. Let's see, where are we at? Firefox. Boom, there we go. So it says it's a 3.43. So when I said 3.4, that was pretty close. And it is designed by Sparrow Knife Company. The price on it on their website is $245.89. Let's see if all the versions are the same price. See, that's the blade I would prefer, because that is 20 CV, and I know what I'm getting there. I'm not really sure with their Damascus what the core is. It says or high quality Damascus. See, I just don't know what the... It says it's a flat grind, but it is definitely a hollow grind. Bolster lock. Let's see here. So they also I almost got that one. I wish the titanium was a lighter color like this one, with that carbon fiber and a silver blade. But like I said, I could always get this one and do a blade swap and then sell this one with the Damascus blade. And somebody else would like that does like Damascus. They also have the micarta versions. They're a little cheaper. Actually, that carbon fiber one is a little cheaper because it's not. And the micarta version is $199.89. So I was going to get this one, but I've got enough knives with lightning anno, and I don't have that many with carbon fiber. So this one is $233. So they do offer it in 7 different models, so that's cool. An homage to the Egyptian deity of wisdom, Thoth. Bolster lock. Yeah, I called it a frame lock, but it is a bolster lock. I wasn't even thinking. Modified Warncliffe blade. 20 CV. 8 inches overall, just like I said. 3.4 inch cutting edge. It calls it a clip point one place and a Warncliffe another place. Flat grind, but it is definitely not a flat grind. So yeah, beautiful knife, beautiful design. If you're not familiar with Sparrow Knife Company, go check them out. They make a knife called a Strix that is a beautiful knife as well. But yeah, appreciate you coming by to check out the video. Oh, we've got a couple more things we need to check before we get out of here. Somewhere over here I've got a pocket to do a pocket check. I don't know what happened to my pocket. That's no good. Alright, here's my pocket. I said I would check that clip, so let's do that. Just got a loose pocket here. So let's see if it hangs up any on that lock bar relief. No, it went right in and felt pretty good. It didn't get stuck on the way out either. You can see how much of the knife is sticking out. Oh yeah, something else I didn't check either, just to make sure, is the T6 and T8 hardware. I'm pretty sure I was right about that, but pivot is definitely a T8, both sides, and that's a T6, that's a T6, and that's a T6, and the clip screw is a T6. I'm glad I didn't forget to do that. Let me see, anything else I forgot about this knife? Let me check the detent on it. Detent feels really good. You can hear it and kind of see it pulling itself into place there. Got good detent. So yeah, other than the action being a little less than I would like it, just for example, the knife I've got in my pocket at the moment is the new Takom prototype. It's not been released yet. I picked up at Blade Show. Right now it's the Unnamed also, or the Unnamed 2. But when it closes, see, it doesn't take much at all. The blade just kind of closes on its own from the weight. And if you give it any kind of little shake, tiny little shake, it'll close all the way. Whereas this one, if I give it the same kind of little shake I was giving that one, you got to do 4 or 5. That compared to that, with basically the same amount of force. Yep. So anyway, you can see in size comparison, this one's gonna end up being about the same size as that knife. This is a great knife. If you haven't checked out my unboxing video on it, you should do so. But I appreciate you being here and checking out my video. You could be doing anything, but you're checking out me, and that means a ton to me. If you like talking about knives, every morning I go live at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. We've got a great group of guys in the chat that are very knowledgeable, that I learn stuff from daily. We just sit around and talk knives for a couple of hours every morning. We would love for you to join us if you're so inclined and are awake at that time of morning. Sit around and drink your coffee and talk knives. This morning we went over a bunch of new knives that are coming out soon. We do that quite a bit, and we talk about what's going on in the hobby and any kind of gossip we hear, or you know, what we like, what we don't like. And then on Thursdays we try to do some modding and learn some stuff about modding your knives. So yeah, come join us and check us out. Anyway, I appreciate you, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks.